August the 15th, lunchtime, and there's a time to be funny and a time to be serious, and I'm serious. I'm talking a little softer because there's people down by the pool. I don't want them to let them know that crypto.
I haven't watched this one yet, so I thought I'd watch it for y'all.
The first floor. So anyhow, if you're an XRP, I've said this from the beginning, it comes from last place to first place. If you have XRP, go walk your dog, go do the dishes, go get your popcorn. If you own XRP, I've got 2 words for you. Do nothing. Diamond hands. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
I like his videos. He's always got such a positive attitude. I'm just talking about, Bitcoin. Really, Sean had asked me to start a stream just to kind of hang out, which he's not even here yet, I don't think. Let me see what he's doing. Yeah, maybe he's seen it now. He might be here. But no, I was just going to look at Bitcoin, stuff like that. If anybody had some coin requests or something. It's just kind of a random day for me. I thought I'd mess around a little bit, do a live stream. But the reason I brought up John here, Crypto Mentor, is because he was a big part of bringing people to my channel. And I thought, if there was anybody here that hasn't heard of him, he's got a lot of good videos. He talks about more of the mentality, like he was talking about just there, do nothing. If you have XRP, it's going to keep going up. Let's see, what do we have? Got about 4 people. I was going to wait for a few more to get on here. 5 now. You can hear me okay, right? Hey Andy, yeah, for sure. We'll take a look at it. Find it here, XLM. Should be moving because XRP was moving up a little bit. There it is. I've started incorporating this this volume price indicator here on the right. It shows you where strong levels of buying and selling are taking place. So this right here, because it's so big, this is a big area of resistance right now. So you might see XLM break through that and then come back down to retest it and go. What are we at? 78 RSI. Yeah, it's got plenty of room to move up still. I also use this market cipher. You've probably seen this one before. It tells me the momentum. It really combines things like RSI and other things like VWAP. This green and red, this is like, what do you call it? Money flow. So as you see the red money flow start to come back into green, that's good. Like you can see back here. Let me find a red one. Yeah, here we go. So this red one right down here, it peaked right there and then it started flowing back up into the green, and that's when you got your push up. So we're kind of seeing the same thing right there. And then our RSI is pushing way up. This is above the, of course this is the bullish area, the 50 RSI, but it's pushing up past that. And then our EMA lines right here have crossed over, so that's real good. If we look at the Fibonacci, here's our price targets. Look how that lined up perfectly right there. Well, it just messed up actually. Okay. That right there where we were talking about that volume price, where it combines the volume and price action together on this indicator. It lines up perfectly with that 0.5 Fibonacci. So we know that this is very strong resistance right now. And if we break through it, it'll turn into strong support. So if I was playing this, like say for example, I was in an XLM and I was thinking about getting into it, what I would do is I would wait for it to break above it and then see if it comes back down to retest. wait for the big push and then comes back down to retest that line and then buy there. But if you're holding it, just keep holding it. It's going to be fun because we already made this break right here. Be kind of right. Yeah, it's interesting because it almost lines up with that EMA right there. It really depends on where you put it. This downtrend line. It's about right in there. Yeah, you can see there's a little bit of confluence there. You can see it hit that right there, it came back down, and then it took off. So we've made our bullish break already on the long term. And there was another one that was kind of back here. Let me see. Position in cycle. Oh yeah, position in cycle, yep. Profit taking on Zap and Icon, yeah, we can look at that. We'll use fibs for that. We did a little thing for our members the other day that taught them how to use fibs on their own on a daily chart and where those profit taking areas are. Everybody here may be a member, I don't know. It may just be a live Zoom for members. But if you're not a member, this is the website you can go to. It's parabolicinvestmentgroup.com. We've got all the information here on what we offer and everything. So, feel free to ask a question about that if you got any questions about it. Okay, so we're looking at Zap. Yeah, I like this one too because the neat thing about Zap is it hasn't even moved yet. Let's do this. Since we were just looking at XLM, let's bring these side by side because I think it'll show the picture a lot better. Where did I put that? There it is. All right, these are both on the daily chart. I'm going to get rid of a few things here. I think that's right. Let's see, that was March, July, yep. Okay. So right here, we haven't seen the EMAs cross back over one another yet. That's the slow one. This is the fast one, the 21 crossing through the 50. And it already happened over here. So the reason I wanted to show this is it makes it a lot simpler to see the big picture there. That Zap hasn't even moved yet. We made the move over the 50 RSI, we're bullish, but it hasn't made that really bullish move yet that XLM did over here. If you were going to mark the area that Zap might be in comparison, I'd say, somewhere in there maybe. So it's got some work to do still. But this is one of those coins that you would want to rotate back to, like say XLM went up here to the 618 or the 786, take some of those profits, roll it back to a coin like this that hasn't made the move yet. And then if you're talking about targets, I would say, it's going to blow through this one pretty easy. Maybe here. One thing you can do, if you look up on your indicators, VPVN, I think that's it. No, VPVR, that's what it is. So it's visible range. Click that. And then on your settings, you want to set it to, yeah, it's right. So 200 on the row size, 100 on the value area volume. And then you'll just kind of zoom in here. Let's see if it gives us anything. And that's giving us just current information right now. I think if you were to scroll back some, there's a little bit of something going on right here where there's some resistance. Yeah, it looks like that 0.5, I'm looking at resistance right there. So similar to how XLM's running into resistance at that point, same thing here. So I would say your first profit take would be 11 cents, just a little bit over 11 cents. And then after that, it's somewhere between 618 and 786. I'd say 16 cents to 24 cents, somewhere in there. because you've got a lot of resistance and support that happened in these areas. Let's see, that was support. Yeah, this is your golden pocket right here, so this would kind of be your area, maybe 18 cents or something. Yeah, so 11 cents and then 18 cents. And then a longer view, I mean, it's going to go up a lot more than this, obviously, but the next long-term target would be $2.25 or so, something like that. Oh yeah, you want to look at icon too. We'll pull that up. Okay, icon. It doesn't have too much at the 0.5. Looks like most of its resistance is at the 618. So $1.75, maybe $1.85 would be the first target, because it's already made a little bit of move already. And then right around 250, and then your long-term target would be like 920, something like that. Fibs are pretty accurate. You know, sometimes you'll go over them a little bit, sometimes it'll come up short, but for the most part, you're going to be right around the area. And that's typically how it works. We've talked about that before, how it's not really a single line that you can go by. It's more like an area, like say from $2.20 to $2.40, something like that. Did y'all have anything else I wanted to look at? Otherwise, I'll just look at Bitcoin real quick. We know Bitcoin drives everything. It's almost like looking into the future for altcoins. Yeah, see how that resistance right there that's coming out. What is that? 56,000 roughly. So 54.5 to 56,000 would be pretty strong area of resistance. Also, what is this one here? About 49,000. Let me make sure those are right. Yeah, you can see the 618. We got some resistance there, but it's holding pretty good. You know, it's going to try to push back up soon, I think. There is a chance that this coming week we may have a little bit of a dip still. We'll have to see what happens, but I mean, I'm pretty surprised that it's holding this still, because this is a little bit of resistance anyway. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 10 areas that were support in here at one time. So it's going to have to chop here a little bit, I would imagine. 54. Yeah, somewhere between 49 and 54, there's a little bit of a gap there, but once it hits these areas, 49, if it gets through that, it'll run up pretty good. And then the 54 area up to like 57, 58, there's a lot of resistance there. I mean, you can see how much this affected it down here. It had to bounce around a lot, and then it finally broke out. And then this line was a very important one that it broke through recently. What is it? Kind of right in there. Came up, retested, came back up again. Yeah, ETN. Yeah, we can look at Electroneum long term. That's a good one. Any of these that are under $1, it makes sense to be in those because they have more room to move up as far as market cap. Actually, Electroneum was one I bought a long time ago. I think it was maybe August 2020. What was it back then? Yeah. Whatever you call that, 005. But the funny thing is it hit it again right here. So it's got a long way to go up, I think. All right. It's having a little trouble right here. 618. Yeah, it's running into some resistance there, but once it gets past that, it's got a lot of momentum going up. So your next target would be 026, 025 right in there, and then the long-term target would be something like 14 and a half cents. And there's really a longer-term target behind that as well. It's the 2618 fib. So eventually this coin's going to get up to like $1.10. What would that be? $1.10 divided by, what did we say? I forgot what it was at. 018, yeah. $61x, $60x. It'll get there one day. We're looking at, what was it, September, October, November, something like that for the next biggest move up, you know, where it would be a profit taking area. And there's a chance we may see this by then, the 14 and a half cents. It needs to make this break of this price right here, 04. Oh yeah, you just got back in, yeah. What did you get? 015. It's at 018. That's good. I mean, it's gone up a little bit. What, 20%? Oh yeah, you got back in right here. That's good. You got the retrace. Ones I really like right now are the ones like Zap, which you know, haven't even had the EMA cross. And then I made a post to the members just a little while ago for Sia coin. Where's that at? Yeah, Sia coin looks real good, and this is why. Get these out of the way. All this resistance right here, it's kind of breaking through it right now. So you can imagine something like this right here. It's got this little resistance right at the top. So I'd say once it does something like that, it might come back and retest it and go up. I don't know why it had that big wick like that. That's weird. You know, this kind of reminds me of, what was that, Zill? Zill did a pattern like that one time. Where's that at? There it is. But this would have been back in, yeah, there it is right there. Look at that. Okay, let's look at this real quick. Would you just look at it? If Sean's in here, he'll get that. Okay, see a coin. Yeah, so there it is right there, that big wick. It's kind of the same thing. So there's a chance, I mean, that's how resistance works, right? Sometimes you get this, well, you get the push up to this big flagpole. It's more like a shooting star than anything. It's not really a flagpole. It's kind of an upside down one. So you'll get this push up to this resistance, and then it'll fail one more time and then take off. So you may see something like that. And that's why I always say one of the better plays may be to do like this. Like if you were playing this right here, and you had a line across here or something like that, just play the breakout instead of, you know, playing this right here and then it fails and you have to wait for it to come back up. You can see how this right here, it broke through that resistance and then came back and retested it. That's not to say it's always going to retest, but it did in this case anyway. Sometimes it may just leave you behind, you know, it may keep going. But you could also wait till another dip happened and then get in something right there. But that's a really good example. I mean, you can see all this resistance right here. It was having a lot of trouble with it. And if you look at the same thing with Sia coin, I mean, I'm surprised I didn't see this before. I'm glad you were talking about ETN, because it jogged my memory to think about Sia coin. But this is very similar situation. Something like that. it'll get this move down and come up. It's not always going to happen the same, but there's a chance it might. Let me see what the RSI was doing back then. So it's right there. I mean, that looks really similar to me. Like that. Yeah, it's pretty similar. So we may see something like this. It's not always going to work out the same. I mean, there's just a chance this happens. And then come back up like a big check mark. Does that make sense? Let's see, XRP, okay. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second, Matt. Let me look at XRP real quick. It was looking good earlier. I think it might have dipped some. Yeah, what we'll do on this one, well, I mean, it's pretty obvious right now. If you zoom in here, that your buyers and sellers are just undecided. They don't know what to do right now. Let's see, RSI is at 85. Your money flow is coming up on the daily, so that's good. But I think we're going to see a little bit more of a dip here. I've been waiting to find out what it was going to do today, and it just hasn't made a decision yet. It's been floating up and down. So in this situation, if you don't really have an answer, you have to step back to maybe a 4-hour or 3-hour and just see what's going on. Yeah, money flow is pretty good here. It's not really coming down. Could be peaking here. I mean, you've got a bit of a bearish divergence right there. But, as long as you're above this 50 RSI, you're still good, because it can do this. It can bounce in between here, and your price could still do something like that. It's only when it breaks through that 50 that you're in trouble, and that it'll have that dip. But if we're talking about price targets, yeah, that's easy. Yeah, we're definitely at resistance here. There's no doubt about it, because it's hitting right up against that line. I think I've got my prices on the wrong side here. So what is that, 128? Yeah. And then on short term, this is a very strong resistance right here at about $1.60. I mean, look at all this up here. It was resistance before. So there's a good chance it's going to retrace once it hits that as well. Not to say it has to. I mean, it could blow right through it. You can see right here, this looks like it was a lot of resistance as well, but it just went down for one day and then took off again. So it's looking real strong right now. One thing I always tell our members is one of the easiest ways to play any coin, especially when it's in a bullish phase, is play it with the 21 and 50 EMA. And I'll give you an example here. We're starting to get tight right here. It's starting to kind of want to curl down. Yeah, this is a good example here. So if you get a full candle close under this blue line, the 50 EMA, or if you get a clear move down of the 21 under the 50, then you know that you're coming down further. And the reason for that is it's trying to hold on to this 50 RSI right here. But if it moves down here and starts bouncing around down here, that's bearish. So that's something to keep in mind. And if you're not in our group, if there's anybody not in our member group, the parabolic group, then if you did want to join us, that's where we'll teach you these kind of things. All right, what was the other question? I forgot. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to tell you. So as far as a longer term target, you're looking at about $3 and $4.90 or so. Somewhere in this area will be your long target. That may happen in September, October, November. It'll happen in one of those months. I don't know which just yet. And these are the kind of things that we'll tell you if you're in our group. And if anybody has a question on that, just let me know in the chat and I'll send you some information. Let's see, UBX. Yeah, UBX is doing real good right now, isn't it? Let's take a look at that. KuCoin might be the best one to look at. It depends on the history. Yeah, it doesn't have a whole lot of history, does it? I might have to look at the Uniswap. Wrapped Ether. Yeah. And that's still not great. I think that's the best one we'll get though. So some of these that don't have much of a history, there's not much you can do with it. So that's April. Let's just go back to the KuCoin one. Ethereum. Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, the Ethereum pair, that's the one I usually use. So this is going to look a little bit different, but we've got to use one that has some history to it. Okay. Yeah, see that resistance line right there? What is that? Well, this is Ethereum pair, so you have to do the calculation as far as the difference in price, but we can still use some of the indicators here to tell what's going on. The main thing is you broke through that resistance right there. It was a long-term resistance. And if you were to look at, let's look at the fibs. I may have to do some calculation on this to figure out what the price is. But your next target would be, I would say, well, you got another one coming up. What is this? 3454. This is one tool that you can use right here. It's on CoinMarketCap. What was that number again? 34. So what you would do is you find out what your Ethereum price is to dollars. So 0011, is that what UBX is at right now? Yeah, see this one's tough because it doesn't have a good chart for the US dollar. Yeah, so your next target would be 0011, yeah, so that would be up here. Here, we'll try to put fibs on it. It's not really going to work as well. What is this date? April. That may be okay. So you can see it's got a lot of room up here. So 0011 is about right here. I would say this would be the next area of resistance, just a little bit of resistance there, and then you got a lot right here. That would be the 002 area. And then after that, you're going up to about 1 cent, a little bit over 1 cent. Hey, how's it going? I don't know what you want me to call you, digital currency dude. Let's see, Voyager bought in at 90, short and long-term targets for Voyager. Yeah, we can look at that. Let's see what the history, yeah, we got a good history on this one. This is what you want to see, is something that, I forget how far back this one goes. It goes a long way though. At least back to the March 2020 drop is what I'd like to see on history. And this one's a little bit weird. I mean, if you're using your fibs here, I don't know if you take this longer wick. Usually, if I see something like that, I leave it out and I use the next one out. Yeah, so you broke that resistance there. That's good. This is really strong resistance in this area that it's in right now. We may go sideways a little bit longer. So this was the last point. Yeah, I would say you probably go sideways a little bit more, but as far as your next targets, for your short target, let's see what this thing's showing. Yeah, this 0.5 line might be a little bit more resistance. Nothing like this. It wouldn't take it long to break this here. But 470. Let's see what we got going on here. Maybe a little bit up here at the 786 line, about 650. So 470, then 650. And then later this year, I don't know, that's about 1180. So somewhere between 1180 and $18. That's for Voyager. And you can do this yourself. I mean, it's just a matter of, I teach our members how to do this. We just did a live Q&A on how to do it. But if you just grab your fib tool, start from the bottom wick here, go to the top, and then just see where your points of resistance are as it comes up. But you can see all this right here, especially this area that it's trying to break through right now. It was a lot of support at one time, real strong support. Now it's turning into strong resistance. So once you get through that, you're looking pretty good until, somewhere in this golden pocket area between 618 and 786. Oh, hey David, yeah, we were talking this morning. I remember. Good to see you. What else do we want to look at? This is a unique thing to look at that I don't see many chartists pull up. Is this is basically the tether dominance. So as it goes down, that means people are purchasing coins and moving them off the exchange. But once it starts going back up, that means people are taking profits. And you can see here, sometimes you got to use things like this to tell what the difference is between, the current Bitcoin price and what dominance is telling you. So we're hitting a bottom, and that would tell me that there's a chance people might start taking some profits. We could see a little bit of a dip this next week, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. It'll be, abbreviated, maybe 4 or 5 days, 6 days at the very most. But today it's not looking too bad. I mean, especially for a Sunday, we've got, at least on my list here, we've got at least 3/4 or at least half of the coins are in the green. So I think we're just in a position where a lot of coins are hitting that resistance. And we saw that as we looked through things like Voyager and UBX and things like that. DBG is a good one to look at. It's been doing pretty well. Let's see if it's hitting resistance. That's the thing you got to consider is if you see a lot of coins hitting resistance, you would have to imagine that you're going to have an overall market dip for a little bit because your sellers are starting to come in, your buyers are getting exhausted. You need to think in those terms. Yeah, same thing here. DGB is running into resistance here, but once it gets past that, it's got a lot of movement it can be making here. Maybe up to the 0.5 line, 10 cents. Yeah, about 10 cents would be good to take some profits there. And then by end of year, you can see I've even got my early alert set here. So I've got it set between 1618, 2618. That would be 27 cents, 42 cents. I imagine it'll get up here by the end of the year, about 42 to 50 cents, something like that. So this is a real good one to be in if you're not in it yet. We're just now making that EMA cross a couple days ago. Very bullish. So what else? Anybody got anything else? I know there's not many in here. This is just kind of a random live stream I decided to do. I hope Sean's in here because he's the one that wanted me to do this. Let me see where he's at. Yeah, I don't know if he's in here or not. Okay, what else can we see? I really like that ZIL look though. I'm glad we looked at that because I don't really follow the fractals or the patterns too much, but this one's pretty obvious. That one that we looked at, what was it? Oh yeah, Sia coin. Well, actually, oh yeah, there is Sia coin right there. I think DGB is making the same pattern actually. So anybody that joined late, it's got this big wick right here, so it creates a resistance line. Same thing here for Sia coin. Might come down a little bit and then go up, but you definitely got a lot of resistance right there. That's one of my favorite coins right now, just because it has a lot of room to move up. What was it? DGB? Yeah, DGB I was looking at. Kind of the same thing. It didn't quite have as much of a wick there, but there's one back over here to the left. So, that's my thoughts. That's kind of why I feel like there could be a dip this week. Y'all may not know, some people may know, Sundays are typically down days. Today it's kind of a 50-50 day. And then Mondays are usually the best day to get a little bit of a gain and take some profits. So maybe Monday's good, but then at the end of the day it comes down. And then Tuesday through Friday, or maybe even Saturday, we go down for a little bit. But as far as the dip goes, if I was to bring up Bitcoin here, my thoughts on where it could come down to would be something like this. It already wicked down a little bit here. I guess that was earlier today. But I could see something like this slowly coming down over a couple of days to about 43,000, and it could even just keep sliding a little bit to 41K or so and then come up. And we know they just need that rest every once in a while like that. They're not going to go straight up. Did y'all have any coins you wanted me to look at? We looked at a couple of them already. Trying to think if there's any. I want to give y'all some that are maybe behind that you can rotate your money to. Matic. I think, is it Theta Fuel? Let me see what Theta Fuel's doing. Yeah, Theta Fuel wouldn't be a bad one either. You can see there it hasn't quite made its EMA move yet, but it's running into a lot of resistance there. So once it breaks through that, you're looking at, what would be the next move? Yeah, it might come up to about 48 cents from here, so 30% move or whatever that might be. I think a lot of the coins could make a 30% move fairly easily. Yeah, 40%. You can see a lot of that was support at one time right there. So it'll have to, go sideways a little bit there and then it'll take off again. But the good thing about Theta Fuel is you can stake it, so you could be making some coin off of it while you're waiting for it to go up. Okay, well I guess if nobody else has any questions, I'll shut this thing down. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and maybe I'll do one of these soon. I need to give y'all more advance warning, I know. I just thought I'd jump on here for a little bit. But I appreciate y'all joining me. We'll see you next time.